Okay, the van's been up for its MOT and it failed on, of all things, a fucking oil leak from the diesel pump. I think that stems from running on petrol all last year when I put loads in. Might have done the seals in. Anyway, I just cleaned the garage, got all the rubbish out of the van and put it all back in the back of the van for now. Now I'm going to back the van in here and get in a position where I can do all the work on it. I was up all night, I hadn't had much sleep, I didn't do a lot tonight. I was up all night last night and I went to bed at all, studying, make sure I get it right. Hopefully I've got a pump on the other diesel at the front. If not, I've got to buy one or get mine rebuilt. Okay, let's get the van in and see how we can do it. Okay, I've got the van in the garage, drove it around back in the corner. I can go all the way around the car to get the tools out of the cupboards. I've been in the cupboard and I've got all my tools out from last time I done a diesel pump. I've got two timing pins, one for the 1600, that's one for the 1800. There's the locking bar for the camshaft. There's the other drill that I use for the other locking pin, 10mm. There's the spanners I need. There's nuts and bolts for locking the wheels. You put that over the bolt. One for pulling the cam off and one for holding it in place. And a tool there that I made up for holding the cog while you tighten it. Okay, now before I can start taking the injector pump off, first job is timing belt, tensioner, pump and pulley and drive. I've got to get all that off. Then inject the car up and do the pump. Let's take it as we go. Step 1. Disconnect battery, negative terminal and get it out of sight. Stage, jack up driver's side wheel. Put on axle stands after having loosened the nuts so you can take the wheel off and get at the underneath. Okay, I place a spare axle stand underneath because I like playing safe and I leave the jack slightly engaged. Okay, the next step is front is to 5 bolts to take this shielding off. It's only a 2-second job. Okay, with the 5 bolts undone, down it comes. There's your timing shield from underneath. Now you can get your timing belts. Yeah, at this point now, I've got no tools out. As I progress around the job, I get the tools out and the tools I use stay out. Obviously I'm keeping the socket out, but that's one tool that I've used so far. Okay, now I've used the screwdriver and this should come off. I've missed in that. Now I've had to use a stir drive to undo that last bolt. So now cover will come off. Gives you a little bit of access through the front. Next, I've undone the bottom pipe on the engine and I'm letting the water out and I'm catching it in a bowl and I'm taking the radiator off. So I'll show you when I've got the radiator off next. See, I've got the radiator off now and as you can see, now it gives me a lot more access to get to the pump. There's the pump there. You can look in straight at it. It gives me more access to it. It should make my life a lot easier. But there's so many wires on that bloody radiator. I've never seen the likes of it. Still, that's the next step. Do everything you can to get your radiator off. Now I took out the tank for the power steering. So we're getting a bit clearer now. Now we can see the timing cases there. So now we'll go back to the book and see what to do next. Okay, so in here now I've got the dynamos off and the drive pulleys off the crankcase. Under there, the crankcase pulley's off there. That's ready. And now we got the timing covers off, all ready to start stripping the timing covers down now. So it's just a matter of taking the 2 belts off. Well, I might only have to take the 1 off, I'm not sure yet. But as soon as I do, it's 3 bolts in there and I can let the pump off. So I think that's enough for tonight because my brain's on overload. I'm not sure I'm going to put it back together. Fucking all the water bottles is off and that, everything. Right, on the back of the camshaft, passenger side, I don't know if you can see it very good, there's a slit there, which a bar got to go in across there. So this is nearly in line. I brought it nearly in line, coming up towards top dead centre. Now, underneath here, as I say, underneath now, behind the dynamo bracket, I took the pin out of here, and now I'm going to put in the timing pin. That length is 35mm, so I know it's the right pin because I've just tested it. So that goes in there. Let me get that secured in. Okay, with the timing pin in there now, I now need to get a spanner on the end of the crankshaft, and we're going to go clockwise. Let me get the spanner, and I'm going to turn the crank now until the flywheel buffers. There you go, that's up hard against the timing pin. Okay, with the timing pin in underneath, this bar now needs to go across here, and it goes in the cam. Let me see about getting that in, because I can't do it. The camera's in a stupid position on it. There's the bar. There's the bar, and there's the cam end, and I've got to get the bar in to hold it solid. Okay, so there you go. That's with the engine now set at top dead centre, camshaft's locked off with this locking bar, and there's a pin down that's stopping the flywheel from turning anymore. Next stage is to get the cam belt off. Okay, once the timing pin was in the crankshaft and the flywheel was turned onto it, I then put the 6mm drill into the cog of the timing belt. That had all the timing pump in position. The next thing, I released the teardrop tensioner and put it in the 6 o'clock position, and now the timing belt is loose. I then went up the house, washed my hands, got them perfectly clean, and got myself a bag. Now the timing pump, the timing belt isn't brand new, but it's not far off, so I might be putting it back on, but I have got a new one. But just in case, I'm going to keep it perfectly clean. So I've got a bag to put it in, and a cable tie on my finger to tie it in, keep it safe. While I was at the house, I made myself a cup of tea. Okay, let me get that pump off. Okay, I've got the timing belt off, and since I can't see any direction of rotation on it, I've actually put an arrow on there, so as I know what direction of rotation it come up on. But I'll most likely be putting a new one on, but I don't know, so I play safe and see how it goes. Depends whether I'm scrapping the van or just rebuilding her. Haha, joking. Okay, the next step was the camshaft pulley. I've loosened the bolt. No need to take it off, you just loosen it. And then what I do is I put a chisel across the back, and then while it's in position, tap it down with a hammer, and that just breaks this seal. So this camshaft pulley is now loose, and it can go in any position it wants. Okay, now this next step you might want to get a friend to help you with. I've got to remove the belt from the fuel pump now. So to do that, you need to take out the tensioner, and the tensioner is down here. But before you can take the tensioner off, it's a little spring clip. You can just see the end of it poking up on my pliers there. Before I can do that, you've got to actually undo the tensioner nut underneath this one here. And once you've undone that tensioner, you've got to hold that in, compressed, and then retighten that so as that leaves the belt now loose. I don't know if I can show you that now. I've actually done that, but you might wish to get a friend to help you. You know, my belt's loose, the tensioner's off. So now I can remove the belt from the pump. But I got long arms and I reached round and I managed to do it. Once again, I've removed the pump now from the belt from the pump, and once again I've marked the direction of rotation because it's not obviously on there. It would have been on there when it was fitted, but it was fitted from the factory, so it's the brand new original one. It's only done 90,000 miles. Only 90,000 miles. Okay, I don't need to say now, I've disconnected everything from the top of the pump. I covered all the pipes up, filled all the holes in with little bits of plastic so no dirt can ingress. Right, now I've come round, and with the timing pin still in position on the pump drive cog, I've disconnected I've loosened the bolts. Now I've pulled out the pin, and now I'm going to take the drive cog off of the timing, off of the pump. So then the pump should be ready to come out other than its fuel pipes. Fingers crossed. Okay, there's the timing cog now. I'm going to just grab hold of it and move it and take it off of the pump. Now I'm going to mark that, see if it needs to be in any set position. But it is free on there, it's got a taper. Okay, all that's holding the injector pump on now is its back bracket, which is there, just below the fuel pipes there, and the fuel pipes. So I'm now going to loosen that bracket and remove it, and the fuel pipes. And then I'm going to need somebody to give me a hand to hold the pump while I unscrew it. Okay, so following the handbook, I've followed it all the way so far, and it's now saying undo the bolts on the pump and take the pump out. But somehow it's forgot to say about the fuel pipes. So I'm just going to undo them from all my injectors, get them all loose, loosen them all on the bottom ones and take the pipes out, totally out of the way. As you can see now, the fuel pipes come off in one, 4 along the top, 4 on the pump, and it all comes off and stays in one lump. It should go back on easy without any cross threading. And it's all in a plastic bag to stay safe. Okay, with the injector pipes off now, I've covered every one of the injector inlets with silver foil. The pump really I shouldn't worry about, because if it is rebuilt it doesn't really matter, but hopefully I'm having a pump off of the car out the front. We'll see that later. Okay, so I just went to look at the these 4 bolts that hold the pump in, and sorry to say they're Torx. You know the ones I mean? I don't get no fun with these. They usually bust and break. So what I'm going to do, I'm going into a cup of tea before I blow me nut, because I know they won't come undone. It's my luck. Cup of tea before I lose me rag. Okay, there you go. That took 9 hours, 55 minutes to take a fuel pump out. But when I say 9 hours and 55 minutes, that's ducking and diving in the dark. As you can see now, the lights go in. And if it weren't for this little head shield, I've just started using this on my head. Tomorrow I've got to take the pump off the one out the front, and we'll see how long it takes. But in the garage, taking me time, stopping for tea, not losing my rag, 9 hours and 55 minutes dead. So, fingers crossed, let's see what the other one comes off like tomorrow. Well, there, one pump out on the deck, all done. And there's the pump. The pump is like fucking new. So all I'll do is refit that to the other one. Job done. Okay. I've got the pump on the bench, and now I've got the grinder going, as you can see. I need to grind the top off. Any of you that follows my episodes on YouTube, you'll see that this is removed because I've got to beat the patch system. There's the wiring for the system, and mine's just a single thing, so I'll take that off and see what happens. I might wait for it to cool down. It's a little bit hot. Yeah, folks, we have it. There, that's what's called the Ford patch fucking system. So now I've got to take that out and get a manual one in without the alarm system. The old pump, you can see, it's just a normal everyday stop switch, which I should take out of there. But on this one, it had the patch alarm. I took the cover off, and now I just got to undo that. Now I just had to cut all the wiring off because the wiring comes out the side here, and with that you couldn't get this over. But now I can get that on. I can undo that and put that one in. So let's do that. Well, I've got all the wiring now. It pulls up from the unit, from the patch unit on the side there. That's all part of the alarm system, but I'm bypassing over that now. So this is got to come off so I can get the spanner right inside. Because you can see down in there, the wire was in the way, so I've got to cut the wire right out so I can get in there with the spanner. Okay, there's the stop solenoid out of the old pump, and there's the one out of the new one, the patch one. Now there's the old one but it took out. I'll put this one back in to the old pump. Well, in a minute. First things first, let's put this one back into the pump that I'm using. Right, the pump's been put in position. Timing mark's in the top where it needs to go, but it's pointless putting the pin in that hole. There's a timing pin hole there, just there. But it's pointless doing that until I've got the thing in and ready to time. For the others of you that know, or some of you might not, this is the timing. This is a teardrop pulley. When you alter that, this cog here tensions up on this belt here, which automatically tensions that one. So to get this one right, which is 12 o'clock, down in there, I don't know if you can see, which is the ones I put on, it's not a Gates, this was a Goodyear set, fucking sod Goodyear, because when I measured this across here, like that, between this and the other one was that much bigger, and the same with this cog. This one was two of them, that much bigger, which in theory across here you'll hardly notice. Same on that, you'd hardly notice. But when you're pulling on a cog, if that there is pulling over there 2 thou, that bit and that bit are both 2 thou, which throws that out 2 thou. And then that was small, the whole thing was thrown out. But this morning I've come out, I took that one off, reset it, spot on. So hopefully now I can take all the timing pins out and the timing should still be spot on. So I'll give her 6 rotations and find out. Okay, I should have turned the ignition on, but the amount of times I turned this over, double checking this, the pump would have had enough fuel back in. So, not without the pipes on. Anyway, now we've just done it, let me show you what I do. The cog on the end of the crank, I put a piece of silver paper in the hole. Then I turn it 6 times with the spanner until that's rotated 6 times. Then check the timing marks. Well, there's the star that the program was all about. Pumps on, all timed up. Everything else is back on, all the leads, all the pipes. All we got to hope for now is no leaks. Air filter's back on, everything's back. I'm just at the point now where I need to go around the motor and check everything's connected. Breather pipes through, radiators through, undamaged. I just need to walk around the garage, see if there's any spares I got that should go on, and go all around the car. But that's it, job done. Bumper back on, that takes me all of 3 minutes. The way I've adapted these, they come on and off so easy. There's the part, that's the air part to get off. You don't take it off, it's that simple. Anyway, job done. Just got to let her down off the jack. And as I say, tidy up in the garage and just check all the spares that's in here. These are spares off the motor. That's the crap one. That's the crap one. They can be slow and can't be used. These are 2 old ones. In emergency I'd use them again. But they're just nothing. This is spares off the other engine. Don't need to go back on here. Just the bottom pulley cover to go on. I'll get that clean before I put it on. So here we go. Okay, to do that job, that's all the tools I used. 3 hammers, one like drifty type hammer, 1 big spanner for the lock nut on the dynamo, believe it or not. Pliers for the clips, water pliers, that's for taking the hoses off. Chisel for breaking the seal at the back of the camshaft end pulley. 3 different screwdrivers. Only a few spanners. Some of them are the same size, but some won't go in, so you need open enders and not round ones. And that's all I needed from my socket sets. Was the few bits and pieces you can see there. And as always, the Haynes manual. I won't be without them, but there's 4 pieces of yellow. Ignore the white paper, the big paper. The 4 pieces of paper are the 4 pages that I work from. And I had tools in standby, obviously, with loads of nuts, bolts, washers, fittings, and anything else I could possibly want. That's parts of my socket set there. I use things like little bars to go on the end of spanners and things, but nothing stupid. So there you go, all job done. Let her down off the jack, and she's ready to go. So I'm going to try starting her tonight because the battery can't turn her over, and that's a bleeder. Oh, there was 1 more screwdriver I never had in the pile. If she ain't got enough power to bleed her tonight, I can put her back on charge tonight and finish bleeding her tomorrow. So 1 big check over and make sure everything's done. And I will add, for jacking up, I had a 3-ton trolley jack and 2 trestles, axle stands, and that kept her off the ground, well and truly, and safe. Trouble is, you can't turn the engine over and have the glow plugs going. 4 glow plugs drain a lot of power out of the battery. So you've got to wait till the glow plugs go out, and then you can't keep enough heat in the glow plugs to start the engine. So priming is a pain in the fucking ass. So what I done, I put another battery and I powered that battery just to the glow plugs. And then the other batteries I got a jump lead to put the power up on that. Then I went in there and I put the air dryer in here on full flat out, red hot. And then I went in, I turned the ignition on, the glow plug started to warm up. When I heard this glow plug go click, I knew they was red hot. I connected this one onto there that kept the glow plugs glowing. I went back in the car, turned the ignition. Before I went back in the car, I stuck the red hot air dryer in here, turned the key and she started up, no trouble at all. So fingers crossed I let her run now and charge all systems. And we're on a winner. I was nearly at the point, there's such a bastard to bleed, I was nearly at the point where I was about to give up and fucking get the time in, but I fucking knew I never had it wrong. And listen, she sounds better than she did before I done the pump. Fucking amazing. Well, there you are, guys. Bumper's back on. I've set the tick over, the idle speed, full throttle speed, the cold start speed. Everything seems perfect. All I need to do now is wait until she's cold and see what she restarts like in the morning and her own volition. Well, there you are. That's how I do my engine timing and changing the pump. If any of you got any queries, just hit the like button and give me a shout and I'll answer anything I can. But there's always a way around everything. Thanks for watching, guys. Pete over and out.